Kevin, would you like to introduce Max?
Yes, absolutely. So next up is Max. There's one thing I'd like to say about Max, and that's that Amazon really messed up his time schedule. But I will say, through it all, Max was always able to find something to do that was going to make his project better in the long run, even when he was waiting on parts or had really nowhere to go until he got his next part. So I really hope you enjoy his presentation. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, my name is Max, and I go to Cupertino High School, and my project is cough detection. So the base project is simply to design a robot that is capable of distinguishing coughs and lighting an LED to signal that there's risk of spread of COVID or other diseases in the vicinity. So now I'll just quickly show you a demo of that project, which involves some modifications that I will later explain. Okay, so you can see my screen. So here's a demo of the project itself. Well, I might need to reload the page. I'll stop this real quick. Let me just figure out the video. Okay, I think I got it now. So, okay, I'm sharing it down. Oh, can you see the video playing, or is it not working?
It's not playing, but we can see
okay.
the. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think my computer is just lagging right now. So yeah, hopefully you're able to see some of that. So yeah, I'll just replay just in case. Yeah. So right here is just the base project itself, and you can see that after it detects the sneeze, it lights up the LED. And so this is part of my modification I'll explain later, but this is the hardware portion of it. And this is when the software and the hardware were ultimately combined. Yeah, so that's my project, and I'll quickly go over some of the portions of that project. So first of all, I chose this project because I thought that it was a very relevant project and could also have several practical applications, not only due to the current global pandemic, but also in more lighthearted ways, such as creating a 4D movie experience without needing to go out to movie theaters. This is one of the modifications that I attached to this project. By attaching the Arduino to a spray bottle controlled by servos, when the Arduino detected a cough, it would effectively spray the user. This leads it to my second modification, which was to include sneezes in addition to coughs to the list of noises that my machine learning model could detect. Not only would this elevate my modification and the 4D experience, it would also make it more practical, as sneezes transmit diseases and COVID more effectively than coughing. So moving on to an explanation of the hardware portion, there are two servos taped together that are tied to the trigger of the bottle and turn in order to pull it. These servos are then wired to a breadboard, which is connected to an Arduino. The Arduino's model is a Nano 33 Sense, and this is important because it has a microphone that picks up on the audio input. On the breadboard itself, we have a very simple circuit in which the servos can be activated. The Arduino is then plugged into my laptop where I can control everything using some C++ code. And I'll quickly go over some of that C++ code with you right now. So this is the code itself, and if I could direct your attention to the alarm method here. The alarm method is what's actually pulling the trigger by turning the servos. So right here, I have it commented out for now because of testing, but ultimately these methods are what actually turn the servos and pull the trigger of the bottle, effectively spraying the user. And this code uses a machine learning model that I wrote in order to determine whether or not the input is a cough or background noise or whatever. Right here, you can see the variable float data, and this code essentially analyzes if the data is greater than 0.5. If it is, that means the machine learning model recognizes that it is a cough and will thus call the alarm method and also print cough detected. So yeah, that's the gist of the code portion. And so one of the biggest challenges in this project was related to machine learning and was involving collecting sufficient data. Online websites provided minimal data and it often only involved coughing and background noise and mostly silence. In reality, there are several more sounds, such as laughing, human speech, cars, etc. These noises I had to collect on my own, and it was difficult knowing how much of each to collect and how much variety I need to have. Another challenge I ran into was regarding the hardware portion. This modification was definitely the hardest part of my project, as my strengths definitely lied more in software and not as much as in hardware. Coming up with a solution using only materials in my home and some parts from the kit without following a tutorial was a huge challenge, and I had countless failed prototypes. One of my largest weaknesses in doing this project was that I was scared to fully commit to an idea. The idea of hot gluing or duct taping something down seemed permanent, and I was scared to do so, as if that idea failed, it would be extremely difficult and painful to take apart the project and start over. Over the course of Bluestamp, however, I became able to overcome this weakness and recognize that I had to fully commit to an idea, even if it was not perfect, in order to properly test it. Overall, as an engineer, I believe that this project furthered my interest in the machine learning and artificial intelligence field, specifically in computer science. I now want to continue to pursue not only AI, but also specifically human interactions with AI. So thanks for listening, and are there any questions?
Yeah, so I have one question. What was your average confidence level when you would sneeze or cough into the system?
Yeah, sure. So the average confidence rating for my model was around 96%, and it would fluctuate some. So sometimes it would be 93, and sometimes it would go really high to like 98, but it genuinely stayed around that range.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a follow-up to that question. Can you briefly explain what that means, like the confidence level?
Yeah, so the confidence level is just like kind of like, to put it simply, it's just like a description of the model's accuracy. So it's like how, first of all, like how confident it is in determining like, okay, I'm 100% sure this is a cough or sneeze, and also how accurate it is in recognizing that. So yeah, to put it in simply, that's essentially what that means. So having a higher confidence rating or such means that the model is better and stronger.